and welcome to the Strong for Life studio. And today I have created a 5-minute miracle that is designed to make you strong for life in your hip region. Okay, so as we age, many of us discover that our large joints, in fact all of our joints, start to potentially give us trouble, and our hips are no exception, being the biggest joint in the body and one that gets notoriously tight. It's really important that we don't stop moving, and that our hips that move in all of these different directions are not only kept mobile but are kept strong. So I have devised 5 moves that I want you to practice as often as humanly possible. That might be 2 times a week, it might be 3, it might be 4, it might be 5. Stagger them in between and build up. Now there's a couple of props that I've pulled out. I've pulled out a chair or a stool or something that is going to give me something to aim for in terms of depth. This is going to allow you to progress over time as you're able to gauge how much lower you are going to go as your strength and mobility increases. In addition to that, I've got a stopwatch, so I'm going to time myself for 1 minute. Now, I've inbuilt a stopwatch into your program. If you're doing this in our app, you can press that stopwatch and see how long you can hold your position for. If you're just doing this within YouTube or a link that I've sent you, then of course just set your own stopwatch. I've also pulled out this mighty little stick. This stick's also going to help us stay at 90 degrees when we finally get our depth in our squat, and it's going to help us to have something to hold on to when we go into our lunges. So this helps with balance and also helps again to gauge how low you're going. Remember, there is no pressure on you at all. This is you, this is your journey, no one else's. I'm here to help guide you and help you to improve over time. And however long it takes is however long it takes. The important thing is that you do not judge yourself and that you remember you cannot heal a body that you are born with. Okay, so once you've mastered the moves, keep practicing, work on depth, work on time, and then when you've smashed it out of the park, you can start adding weights. Are you ready? Come with me and we'll start with move 1, which is your horse stance squat. Only we're going to do it with slight toes turned out. So I'm going to set my timer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take out, we're going to stand here, we're going to go toes out 1, toes forwards 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I'm going to do 5 out. As you get stronger, you can actually add in to 7, to 9 and so on and so forth. We're going to sink low, and all I want you to do is hold it here. Now you can see that this is going to roll off, so I'm nowhere near at 90 degrees. The idea is that we eventually get low enough that we can hold it in place. But for now, I want you to just hold it where it is for you. So if you were at 90 degrees, you'd be in line with your seat. Okay, so that is your goal. It might take a fair few weeks, it might take months, that's okay, don't judge yourself. We're just going to hold it here. Now, I want you to engage. So think about squeezing your inner thighs together. Keep your chest proud. Awesome. You can take this behind your head for now if you like. When you feel that you've got the strength, you could maybe go a little bit lower. Always trying to keep your chest super, super solid. You could actually hold the stick like so in front of you if you need to. Okay, we've done a minute, so I'm going to release, and that is your move number 1 to work with. Move number 2, we're going to go into lunges. So I'm going to start on my right leg forwards, left leg back. In fact, I'm going to start on my left leg. Let me just swap that around. So I'm going to move my stool over. If you don't have a stool, again, don't worry. Just grab something that you do have. I've got my stick. I'm going to reset the timer for 1 minute. I'm going to start on my left leg. Now, I'm going to take my back leg as far as it will go. Okay, I'm going to put all the pressure into the front leg, so hinge yourself forwards. And my aim is to get my leg to 90 degrees so that I am as low as the table or the stool. This back knee's just hovering off the floor. I'm using the stick to help me hold it there. Now you might be here to start with, that's absolutely fine, we've got 1 minute. Now, if you need to come out of the stretch, you can come out anytime, but it's your opportunity to gauge yourself, okay? So think about the feet being like they're on train tracks rather than a tightrope, so you've got a bit of space between the feet, so you're not too narrow, you're nice and long, that back leg's there. And I want you now to think about, from here, rather than having a tall back, lean into that front leg and think about releasing your toes and all that pressure going into that front leg. Now see if you can take it low. This is your opportunity to get that knee to 90 degrees. So you can see I'm at 90 degrees and I'm trying to hold it here. I'm not leaning on anything, but I am using the stick for support or my finger here on the stool for support. I'm starting to tremble, so this is not easy. Press into that front heel for 3, for 2, for 1, rise, and then it is time to swap sides. Let's just move that around so that you can see what I'm doing. So now we're going to favour the right leg. I've started on my left because that's my weakest. I'm now going into the right. Remember to kick it all the way back. If this is your starting point, that's absolutely fine. Try and go for the widest stance possible. Remember, you've got the space between the legs. You're not going to be tall in the back. You're going to have a long back that's not rounded, but you're going to hinge forward. So my back is still long, but I'm hinging forward. That means I'm putting the weight into the front leg, front heel, release the toes. See if you can maybe get a little bit lower. See if you can get that knee to hold at 90 degrees. If you're here, that's fine. This is your journey, remember. So we're holding as low as possible for as long as possible, but we're going to mirror both sides. Push for 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Well done, team, you did amazing. Okay, I'm going to take the stool out of the equation. I'm going to have my stick out in front of me, and I'm going to go wide in the legs. Now, again, I'm going to start on the left side. I'm going to keep both feet facing forwards, and I'm simply going to sink down. I'm going to get as wide as I can, and I'm going to sink down into that left side. So sink, 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 push the hips back. Well done. And we're just going to see how far we can go. As we come down, we're really pulling our inner thighs in. That's it, draw the inner thighs in. If you have to come out and take a breather, that's okay. Just then ease yourself back down. Draw those inner thighs in. Well done, chest is proud. So I've got my stick here to remind me I'm not rounding over into the stick. I'm keeping my back super, super tall. Think about pushing away from the floor and drawing your inner thighs together for strength. I'm starting to shake for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, release. Woo! Okay, you ready? We're going to sink to the other side. So, sink, 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 sink. Knees tracking forwards, toes tracking forwards. Push back. Yes, it's slightly uncomfortable. If you need to come out, that's also fine. Feel that stretch. So we are strengthening and lengthening. Chest is nice and high. When you imagine going low, I want you to go low, but I actually want you to engage all the muscles around your hips. Okay, so you are strengthening those hips as well as lengthening those hips. Well done, team. That's it. Can you get any lower? Remember to breathe. Give yourself a rest if you need to. It can become quite exhausting. And we are holding now for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Slowly heel toe those feet together. There you go. Give yourself a big round of applause. That was your 5-minute miracle designed to make you strong in your hips as well as flexible. Okay, practice that as many times as you can. It also works your ankle strength, which is super, super important. And it is going to help you be strong for life. Enjoy.